what, tell me. Oh,
We are now recording.
good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November edition of the Community Issues Committee for Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. I'm Dan Dixon, co-chair, and we have a quorum and we are ready to proceed. Let's see.
Well, do you want
My
me to do the roll
screen
call?
keeps asking me if I want to stay on the webinar. Yes, I do. So this will be a short and hopefully sweet meeting. Dave, John Barbera will join us in a few minutes. Everyone else is aware of the meeting, and so we will leave it at that. I would like to offer some public comment. John Barbera should have forwarded each of you an editorial from the LA Times today about sidewalks, which is the issue is no surprise to us, but the LA Times has now swung its mighty weight behind the notion that Ron Galperin is right to audit the sidewalk program, and it's about time this city got behind repairing sidewalks.
Yeah, really.
Because the Times has now concluded it's a vital part of the infrastructure, which is true, and that it's an equity issue, which is probably also true. Everybody uses sidewalks, some need them more than others. The city entered into a $1.5 billion 10-year program to repair the worst of the worst parts of the sidewalks for ADA access. I think there was very little thought given to folks who do not require ADA access to use the sidewalks. But that's where they are. Some of the numbers, as you can see if you read this, are just astonishing. The bottom line, I think the most telling little detail is that the Bureau of Street Services has a 100-year plan to repave every street in Los Angeles. But whoever runs the sidewalks in this town has a essentially 500-year plan. And it's interesting to me that the money that was set aside, the $150 million a year that was set aside as part of the settlement, should have been intended to fix the most egregious spots in the worst sidewalks. But whoever's in charge of the program has taken to spending more time repairing less places because they repair longer stretches of sidewalk than really require repair. So the Times is calling for them to get over that and just do tiny little chunks as the most as needed spots in the city. Apparently there are 6,500 points of sidewalks that need repair, and
Yeah.
oh no, I'm sorry, excuse me. Fewer than 1% of the city's sidewalk parcels, 640,000 in all, have been certified as repaired and turned over to property owners. And of course, just briefly, the property owner part is that as part of this agreement, the city agreed that it would repair each problem area of a sidewalk once, would warrant the work for 10, 20 years. But after that, the property owner would be responsible for repairing the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Well, clearly, the ones they have done, the warranty hasn't run yet. So the city's still responsible for it. And they are repairing them at such a glacial pace that that the glaciers will reappear on Earth before the work is done. So I'm heartened by this editorial in the Times, and my request of the committee would be that we take the sidewalk repairs back on as an item of interest for us to work on with the community and among the community. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other comments? Thank you. We'll move on then. Oh, we have attendees. Doug Epperhart and Lori Jacobs. And John DeMaglio is calling me. I'm going to mute myself for a moment and talk to John. Hello, John. Victor, John DeMaglio is on, but he's been waiting. I don't know if he shows up on your.
No, I don't see him anywhere.
Victor doesn't see you, John, but we'll, what can we do to rectify this?
Let me try a different route then.
Okay,
I was gonna say, try going out and coming back in.
Victor just said, try going out and coming back in.
Okay.
We've just started. We haven't done the first, I made a public comment, but we haven't done the.
For about 20 minutes.
You've been
Okay,
on
let
for
me see
20
if I get
minutes? I'm
back.
sorry.
All right.
Try again, thanks.
Okay.
He will try again, Victor. And I see our guest list includes Lori Jacobs and Doug Epperhart. Always happy to see them here. Thank you. We'll give John a minute or two to connect in. This is called dead air. I'd do a tap dance, but I'd break a hip.
Or in my case, dead space behind me.
That's right. We're in the vacuum of space behind Victor. John was going to try a different route in.
Well, hopefully he was trying the panelist link.
Yeah. On a personal note, my grandson completed his first season of T-ball
All right.
on Sunday. We had a great pizza party afterwards. It was a lot of fun. He's enjoying it. And it's nice to see my grandson playing up at Eastview Little League on Knoll Hill. And I think we all remember when Knoll Hill was dedicated. The port director was the guy, David, what's his name, with the cowboy hat.
Oh, yeah.
And if you were there, you may remember him saying, well, this is all real nice, but don't get used to it because it's not going to be here more than a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I just shook my head and thought, you don't know this town. You really don't know this town. They've got their big toe up on Knoll Hill and they're never leaving. Sure enough, there they are. Nice facility, well run. It's a good thing.
How long do you want to wait? I still don't see him.
I will do the courtesy of, I'm gonna ring him back and see if he's,
And ask him if he is using the panelist link in the email.
okay.
If not, he can
Right.
go to the agenda.
Yeah,
Hey, you have any luck, John?
no, I haven't.
Uh,
I usually just push the Click the button, it comes on.
I had a similar issue perhaps. Are you using the panelist link on the email? There was an email on the 10th, I think the 10th of November from Christian. I think inviting us
The
to,
one that's on the neighborhood council site doesn't work?
well, I had trouble with it, John. Victor,
Ty-
Let me try it one more time.
Dan,
yeah,
tell him
the,
the link that's in the agenda. Or at least read off the webinar ID to him.
hey, John DeMaglio,
Yes.
do you have the webinar number that's on the agenda? I can read it. I can give it to you.
Okay, and what do I do? Just punch it in my phone?
Oh, you're on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Oh, no, that's a different, that's,
Well,
he's
he
on his
can
phone,
still
Vic.
use
That's
the
a different number.
He has to dial one of the numbers and then still use the same web ID number.
Yeah, the ID number you see there is good, John, but you need to dial, there's a phone number,
Yeah, I got the phone number, 669-900.
669-900.
6833.
Yes,
6833, yeah. I can't say for sure, but that sounds correct.
look at the top of the agenda, Dan.
Let me-
There are two
What do I
numbers.
do? I just dial
Yeah.
it on my regular phone?
Oh. Yeah, if you're calling in on your cell phone,
Yeah,
maybe you and I need to hang up and you dial that number, the 669-900, 6833.
yeah.
Then enter that webinar number, which begins with 817, which you see on the agenda,
Okay.
And
let me
then-
try it.
and then
If
press-
not, let me try it.
and then press pound. All right, he has hung up. So he's going to try that again and give it another minute or two. We all agree, Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, John Barbera has joined us. That's good.
I've been on for the last
Hello,
12
John
minutes.
Barbera. Oh, okay.
I came on
Well-
about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, well, trying to accommodate a committee member.
You came on at
Taco
5:09.
Bell's new double steak grilled cheese burrito covered with melty
Is it covered with
Ooh,
melted
grilled
cheese?
cheese burrito.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Oh,
Well, I didn't try to call in by phone, but presumably that one of those numbers works, and that's all, that information is all there on the agenda. So he must not be sitting at his computer at home. Well, let's,
We should start. We're wasting time.
yeah. I understand.
I mean,
And I know you understand, and I know you understand the delicacy of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And if he joins us and would like to go back, we can consider that. The item number 3 is regarding the community playing fields on Gaffey, facing onerous rent increases. Those are the total of 8 fields, I believe, on North Gaffey, 2 by the police pistol range, and then 6 up towards 5 Points belonging to Lomita Little League and San Pedro softball or something. There's a lot of effort being put in working with the Navy to get around or modify the rent increases. And the most likely way to do that appears to be to work for the cities of Lomita and Los Angeles to work with the Navy in a basically it's not an exchange program because they wouldn't actually own the land or control the land, but they control the management of that portion of the property. And they could, the cities could grant waivers that would permit the leagues to continue at the existing rent or slightly modified rent. So that would be a good thing. I was told that the 2 fields by the police pistol range have nothing to do with the lease arrangement and are not part of the discussion. And I believe the same is true for those 6 farther north. But in fact, the best way to make this, to fix this, is for the 2 cities involved to work with the Navy. So, John, I don't know if you learned anything else, John Barbera. I don't know if you learned anything else from your neighbor. And we
I
don't really
haven't,
need to-
Chewy's been in and out and I haven't been
Okay,
able to
never-
catch him, but
That not a problem. So the
I'll
question,
try to get a hold of
the
him
question-
now.
the question is, I believe the community supports the idea of the playing fields remaining available to the kids in our community. And do we want to effectively write a letter of support to the city, urging the city of LA to work with the Navy to attempt to keep the status quo? If that interests the committee. Oh, Vic. Yes, sir.
Lori typed in Q&A that Nanette Barragon's office has been involved to help with this. Has anybody
Yes.
been in contact with her office?
No, not, I have not. And Nanette Barragon, as was said of the Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz, she has no power here. It's not in her district. It's in Ted Lieu's district. However, professional courtesy may bear fruit. And most likely, all of San Pedro will be redistricted into her district when the process is complete. So
Hopefully.
The answer to Lori is no. I have not talked to anyone in her office. I can do that. But is the committee interested in writing a letter of support about the notion of keeping rents, keeping the use of the fields where it is, and keeping a level playing field, so to speak, as we move forward? The Department of Defense wrote a very somber sounding and pretty unequivocal letter. The guy who was Secretary of Defense in 2020, Mark Esper, I think is his name, wrote a 3-page memo saying we're not in business to support community use of this sort on government property. We're in business to defend ourselves against China and Russia. So the Pentagon has made itself clear on that front. However, this program exists that allows cities to have some degree of control over the property. And apparently, according to the Seal Beach, the area of the playing fields is not germane to the lease out of the property, which they're currently negotiating with one potential lessee. So the question is, should we let this see how this plays out for the next month, or should we jump on some bandwagon which may or may not exist to support the current status of the fields and maintaining it the way it is?
I vote to, I would say, Chuck, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I think it's too early to move on. You should let it play out a little bit further. It's my opinion. I don't think we'd have any clout, so to speak, making a difference at this point. We don't know what Buscan's office is going to do. We don't know what Berrigan's office is going. It's not in Berrigan's. I don't think it's in Berrigan's district, is it?
It's not.
That side of the street would be.
Not currently.
Sorry?
No, we are all of us on the screen I'm looking at live in Ted Lieu's district.
Right,
Now,
right.
the redistricting will change that. That won't happen before the primary in June of 22, so, but it will
Exactly.
haple Anyway, yeah.
These things
Now,
have
Congress
a
member-
long way to play out. They take a long time.
Okay,
That's just my opinion.
okay. Does anyone have a differing point of view?
I was thinking just the opposite. Better to show our support early to possibly persuade the powers that be on the Navy side to rethink their position.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I'm not sure, given the memo from the DOD, that there's any, I'm not sure they can change their position. But there are these opportunities to offer cities some degree of control over operating portions of this property. And I believe, as I said, that none of the playing fields are involved in the overall lease of the property to a new operator. So if I hear a motion to write a letter of support, we can discuss it further.
I kind of feel the same way as Chuck. I mean, we don't have enough info on this thing yet, and I understand what Vic's saying too, but we need to, see what we can come up with and, get a little bit more detailed into this, whether that's to, I'll talk to Chewy, like Laura said, and I'll, and find out more and see what their thing is and what they think about it. And then maybe in December, maybe next month, we can come back and, put all, see what, I don't know, Chuck can talk to some people, David knows people, John knows people, Vic knows anybody, and you, and let's see how farther we can go into this. And then, then we got something a little bit more concrete and go after them better,
Well, I gather your neighbor Chewy is spearheading the effort on behalf of the leagues involved, along
Right,
with Terry,
so let's,
Terry Sardisco with the Bobby Sox. And so if you can get a hold of him, please, and find out how we could be most helpful as
right,
this unfolds, that would be great, John.
yeah, okay,
Even if you have to go stand in his driveway till he appears,
yeah.
or sit. Pull up a chair and sit.
I don't know how
So
to
if-
get in. I can't get in there. I just say it'd be nice to know how Lomita feels.
Well, yeah, Lomita may not want anything to do with managing. that property.
That's my point, I think. I mean,
Okay.
we don't know
Well-
we don't know how the city feels either. They may say, oh, we don't want that responsibility. I don't know.
Well, I believe the council office is involved, but it's Congressperson Barragan is kind of taking the lead on it from the
John,
federal
John's got his,
standpoint.
John's got his hand
John
up.
DeMaglio, yes, sir. John, yes.
Let me comment on this. I think Chuck is right. I think maybe we can get more clarification and more push if we push the councilman's office at this point and see what they'd have more push than we will if we can have them do, see what they come up with.
Okay,
Like Chuck said, it's going to be a long process, and they got to evict the people that are there, the ball fields that are there. So it's not going to look good for the Navy. Well, we'll see how it goes. I think that the fight is going to be with the councilman's office to see how far they can push it for our community.
okay. If there's no real disagreement with these comments, let's keep an eye on it and ask John Barbera to talk to his neighbor, who's the guy in charge for the baseball leagues, and see what happens.
Okay.
The other, oh, I'm sorry, I see two hands up. Sorry about that. Vic and John, your hands are up. I think you both. Vic,
Yeah,
did
let
you
me-
have something else?
I'm gonna put my hand in.
Thank you, John.
Sorry.
And Vic, did you have something else?
I don't know if everybody heard me. I was just gonna say that Lori also said in the Q&A that she thinks it would be good to write a letter of support now. So just to put that comment out there.
Okay, let's allow me to come back to that one and see what, because we do need a motion if we're going to write a letter. I wanted to say that item number 4, which involves the same property, only more so. The Navy continues to negotiate with a potential lessee for the DFSP property on North Gaffey. It's come down to this, that if no environmental review is required, and that is being discussed, by whom I'm not certain, but if no environmental review process is required, the lease could be consummated by the end of this year, a couple of months, a month to 2 months from now. If any environmental review is required, the Public Information Office believes that will put off the any movement on the property for a year. So the waiting game right now is to find out if any environmental review is required. I wish I could say that we have some sense of some hidden meaning there. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. The Navy will not release any other information about this. Their negotiations are done in closed rooms behind closed doors. That's Department of Defense policy. So we really don't know what we're talking about here yet. But that's where it stands as of a week ago. Now, I'm willing to, well, I'm not sure. Can the chair make a motion to I'm not sure how to handle item number 3. I think both points of view are valid. What I would propose, I think, is that we gather more information as quickly as we can following John Barbera's discussion with his neighbor, and then determine if we agree that a letter or some sign of support would be useful. And our board meeting is late in December. It's about as late as it can get. I think it's the 13th or 14th. And that would give us time to come up with, I don't know. I don't want to do anything incorrectly, but we could, it seems to me, write a letter in that time and make a motion at the board meeting for the board to support it. It just wouldn't have come from the committee. So not seeing any hands. Chuck, is your hand up?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Item number 4.
Oh,
Do you have
Go
a
ahead.
sense, do you have a sense of what possible influence we could have once the negotiations are over and they decided they want this, what they're going to do with the property? What,
no, I think we made our position very clear initially 2 years ago.
yeah, exactly.
And we stand by that. On the other hand, we do want to know as quickly as possible what it is they're going to either bless us with or inflict upon us. So, which is why we're trying to keep an eye on it and trying to maintain good relations with the Public Information Office down there and get the word as soon as it comes out. That's all I really have on that. Our position on it stands that we don't want any above ground tanks,
That's it.
period. So, I would, if someone's willing, well, I will make a motion that we develop a letter of support for the ability of the local baseball teams to continue to use the facilities into the future. That I would move that we develop a letter that can be presented at our December board meeting. And the nature of that letter will be determined by what we find out in the next week or so about what's going on and where the negotiations really are. So if somebody will second that, then
Second.
thank you, Vic. May I ask for, forgive me for not knowing, do we have to do a roll call on this or?
We should do a roll call just to make it official.
Okay, John DeMeglio,
Yeah, where's the letter going to?
well, presumably the council office. I would say it's to be determined, but number one would be the council office. I would also think the congressperson's office and why not the Department of Defense? Whoever is involved in the negotiations, but certainly the council office,
I
as
have
you
one,
suggested, John, would
I
be
have
first
one
and
other
foremost.
question is, how does the ball field get the information and we can't get the information?
No. If you're talking about the information about the lease,
Yes,
no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing two different. We're speaking of two different agenda items here. That's my fault. No, the ball fields have no information that we have none that they don't have, and vice versa. What I've been told is that the ball fields are not impacted by the lease negotiations. Apparently, the lease property does not involve the portions of the property that contain the ball fields. It will continue to be Navy property. The question is, so if we can imagine just setting aside the whole deal except for the areas where the ball fields are, then the question is, can the Navy be negotiated with through this exchange program with the cities, for instance, to give the baseball leagues waivers and continue at more or less the same rental cost of $850 a year. I'm not sure how many of those fields that covers, versus 10 to 12,000 a year, which is what the government says is the fair market rent for that property, for that usage. So at this point, as far as item number 3 goes, the ball fields will continue to be there, or that property will continue to exist outside of the lease arrangement for whoever's going to change whoever gets the property. It will not include the areas of the ball fields near 5 Corners, 5 Points, or the 2 fields and the police pistol range on the south end. So on that basis, John, can you vote on the motion? The motion is to write a letter, but we need to have more information first. So John, you're on mute, but you want to say yay or nay?
You're telling me that they're already said that they're not going to touch the ball fields, as far as you know.
No, I'm saying that the areas of the baseball fields are not involved in the lease of the property for whoever's going to use the pipelines or build some other facility or something like that. Apparently, from what I've been told by the Navy, and we've heard no other evidence to the contrary, the ball field property will remain as it is. Whether it remains as ball fields remains to be seen, because that depends on this trying to maintain the lease arrangement or the rental arrangements that the baseball teams have right now.
So what we're saying is that if it remains the same and they're going to keep the fields, we're saying we don't want them to raise the rent on those fields.
That's correct. And
So the letter would be saying that of concern that we don't want the rents raised on those
correct.
fields.
Correct. We would urge the city, and I think your opinion about sending it primarily to the council office is a good one. We would urge the city to, and Lomita, if it's involved, to continue negotiations with the Navy to maintain the ball fields at a reasonable rent.
Yeah, okay, I get that, okay.
John, just so you know, John, they're charged, the San Pedro, the ball teams, they're paying $850 a year.
Right.
They now wanted to pay $10,000 to $12,000 a year.
Right.
So either they're raising that money up that they want to sell the property or do something else and tear the ball fields down. Because to get $10,000, $12,000 a year, I mean, if the Navy's hurting that bad, there's something wrong.
Right.
If you read the letter from the Secretary of Defense, they're pinching every penny. Anyway, John, I appreciate your
what
yes
I'm
vote.
saying is that if we put the letter into Buscanino's office and combined with a letter from Buscanino's office saying that not only us, but maybe Central or even the other neighborhood councils are concerned about it, and we get together with them and write one letter combined with somehow with the Buscanino's office.
I see. Well, I think because I don't have the letter in my head, what you're saying, everything you're saying is true. And we should try to give it as much heft as we can. But the first step is to gather more information, as several people have suggested, and come up with a framework for a letter that we can propose to our neighborhood council, which could certainly be combined with the other councils as well. So for right now, the motion is just, should we write a letter? And
Yeah.
and you voted yes.
And
So-
what I'm saying is that, I mean, Harbor City, Wilmington, they all use that field. They're
Yes,
kids from
and-
all over.
You're correct about that. And I just don't know enough about it. The group that operates the leagues, they're dealing with this right now. And I've asked, we're gonna ask John Barbera to check with his neighbor, who's the guy running the thing, and see how we can be most helpful to them in expressing community support. So,
Doug's got his hand up.
yeah, so Doug Epperhart next. Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, I think we have to
Doug Epperhart.
know how Buscaino's office thinks about this before we write this letter.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have some ideas of whoever's going to be elected in this place. We have to know where the city stands. They're the ones going to be footing the bill.
The city claims it's negotiating with the Navy about it.
And
Yeah.
that's why I think we should wait.
So Doug Epperhart,
Yeah, since Mr. DeMeglio is trying to drag us all into this, here's what I would offer as
no,
uh,
let's not characterize, let's not characterize it that way.
I'm being
I think-
amusing here. All right, so here's what I would recommend that
Yes.
would be, I think, useful for other neighborhood councils. And frankly, it's a really good idea because John's right about the fact that, you know, you have players playing there from all over the place. But I could see a motion, something to the effect of, whereas the Department of Defense contemplates a significant increase in rent for the groups using the field. And it would place a burden on those groups, therefore be it resolved, blah, 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 neighborhood council urges relevant city agencies, including the council office, to work diligently to ensure that this rent increase does not occur or doesn't happen or something to that effect. I mean, that covers all the bases, I think.
Agreed.
And it's a way of leaving yourselves open so you can go after anybody and everybody.
Right. Thank you, Doug. That's basically what I was thinking. You expressed it succinctly and well. So I just don't have it written tonight. So,
I can put it in a Q&A if you want.
okay, thank you. Let's, if you would do that, that would be great. No one, if there's no objection. We were voting on writing the letter. If no one objects, let's suspend the vote or not complete the vote. Let's see what Mr. Ephardt comes up with. And perhaps that's something we can all support. So Doug, if you'll do that, that's great. And Victor, you can find that when he's done with it. I presume he can.
Yeah.
The rest, let me close this down.
We'll also.
Anyway, thanks, John DeMeglio and Doug Epperhart. Good input. Everybody, good input. Item number 5 is simply a little bit of a report. There's some wonderful decorative lighting up at Weymouth Corners. It's those crisscross strings of clear lights that run across the street from several points. And about half of them or a third of them are out and have been out for some time. And I just want to report to the committee that talking to the council office about it, the council office paid for those lights at Weymouth Corners when they were first installed, and they are working with an electrical resource, electrical contractor to get them up and running in time for Candy Cane Lane, the first Friday of December. So it needs to happen quickly, but Ryan at the council office indicated that he felt it would happen in a timely manner, which would cheer up Candy Cane Lane considerably.
I emailed again to Ryan on Monday,
Did he respond?
and he responded back and on the lighting, and he writes to me. I spoke. He said he had spoke to Dan Dixon. He spoke to you about it, and he's working with Dextra Light to get them repaired ASAP. I have a follow-up call with them later that afternoon. So that was Monday. I didn't hear back from him because I had wrote to him,
Okay,
you know, and told
Yeah.
him that the lights are still not done. And December 3rd is, you know, Candy Cane Lane, and it looks pretty dark over there. So he goes, okay, he said he was going to jump on it more and get with them more and push them. So.
good. Thank you, John. Excuse me, folks. Sorry.
Doug has put some information in the Q&A.
Can you, let's
Yeah,
see,
I'm-
Q&A.
I'm putting the clauses in as separate things here.
Okay. Hey, John Barbera,
Yeah,
I need to go get some water. Can you, item number 6,
yeah, I see it.
can you fill in what you know about that?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So, you guys know on the four corners of like First Street and, you know, Weymouth, and I believe, Viner, and then come back this way toward down, you know, that they were doing all the corners because they were redoing it because of the fiber optics and they were putting in new electrical cables. Well, apparently, Caltrans, they misjudged everything because I was talking to them about it. They thought that everything was going to be in stock and they can get it pretty quick. So while they tore up all where the curbs are for the handicap and wheelchairs and, you know, ladies walking their babies in a crib, you know, the little walkers and stuff, they thought it was going to be done quite a bit. But I guess, as you all know, it took them a while because the places that they were using was out of stock and its stuff wasn't going to come in till, they were saying, the end of November, beginning of December, but I guess it came in a little sooner. So that's why now I know Weymouth is done, and I believe First Street is also done. They were doing it. They said the cementing on this past week, like started on Tuesday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday they did the cementing and everything. So the holdup was, like I said, the fiber optics and the electrical and the conduit that the stuff was going into. So it
John,
was just a bad misjudgment on Caltrans and thinking that they had everything, you know.
so John, are you telling me that the four corners at First and Western are now completed?
Yeah, they've been cemented. Don't know if they took, I think the wood is still there waiting for the cement to dry more. But
Okay,
yes, it was all cemented and all the electrical and the fiber optics was done. And,
Okay.
you know, from what I saw, it,
okay.
yeah, it was
Well,
all,
that's
know.
encouraging because the intersections farther up Western by towards Ponte Vista are still very much open.
right. Well, they're working their way down is what they're doing. But
Okay.
I know
Well-
that some people on the bluffs, you know, were bitching about it. So,
Complaining, John, complaining.
complaining. And
Concerned.
and then, you know, Lori gave me a heads up on it, and then I went and wrote to them and explained to them and then sent them pictures that it was done because they wanted to know why and this and that was happening. You know, it was
Right.
ridiculous that it took so long, but
All right. I
You
see Lori Jake. Thank you, John. That's very encouraging. I see Lori Jacobs' hand up. Lori. Lori?
I was
You with
waiting
us?
to be unmuted.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yeah, I did bring it to John's attention. It was on Nextdoor that they were asking a lot of questions about it. And I've been asking for a while for us to put some information out on our website and also in our e-newsletter so that we can tell people what's going on, because they've been driving up Western seeing these. And it's not a commentary on whether whoever was doing this should have had the parts before they dug them up. It's more just giving them information. Here's the scoop, because some people thought they were digging them up to make a wider slant or whatever for the ramp for people needing it, but that wasn't it. That people didn't understand it was to put new fiber optics parts in there. So I just would like to see request that a couple of paragraphs and maybe a picture of the one that's done. John took some nice pictures, that we get that information to outreach, to share with the community. That kind of thing we really need to show proactively. We're aware of the situation. Here's what we know, and just keep them informed.
John Barbera? Thank you,
Yeah.
Lori. John Barbera, is that something we can forward to Lori? It's some written words and a couple of photographs, say in the next 2 days?
Sure. Yeah,
Very well.
we're gonna forward it to Chris.
Whoever it goes to, that's
Yeah,
fine.
goes to Chris
Okay.
Fire.
Okay, good.
I'll
Thank
send
you.
that to him.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
John. Thanks. That's item number 6. Douglas, I know you're writing at light speed. Are you done or?
Oh, I've been done.
Oh, thank you.
You should have 2 or 3 Q&A, blah, blah, whatever. It's all there.
So, oh,
To
there's
where at-
Q&A. Sorry.
And
So,
you can save Q&A, by the way,
okay.
so you'll have the wording.
So to go back to that item, I have moved and it's been seconded that we consider a letter, that we write a letter. Excuse me, thanks to our good fellow citizen, Mr. Epperhart, we have some wording here. Whereas the U.S. Department of Defense has informed the community of a significant increase in the annual rent of the Navy ball fields on Western Avenue near Palos Verdes Drive. And whereas increased rent would place an onerous burden on the groups using the fields. Therefore, be it resolved, the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council urges that Council Member Joe Buscaino and other concerned elected officials and agencies make all possible efforts to prevent and or mitigate the proposed rent increase. Any comments?
I like it.
I think that works. It's short and sweet.
And Doug, I assume this is something that your esteemed neighborhood council might consider signing on to or sending
Yeah,
itself?
I both coastal and I'm assuming Central will meet in December. So we could take it up the week after you guys, but I would also recommend that you send it over to Gina at Wilmington and Jennifer over at Harbor City.
Very good.
So,
Vic, can you make note of those names? And you don't necessarily have to do all the work, but
Okay, I could not understand everything Doug said. So Doug, can you type the names into the Q&A?
yeah, I can do that. I can give you contact info if you need it later.
I also have a screenshot of what the letter wording right now. So even if these go away, I've got the words.
good, excellent. With that, any other questions or comments?
Yeah, John has his hand up.
Oh, sorry, John DeMeglio. Yes, sir.
Yeah, wouldn't it be better if we combine all the neighborhood councils, Wilmington, Harbor City, and make one letter going to Buscanino's office altogether?
Doug, you've been at this a long time. What do you think?
5 letters are better than one. Numbers
5 letters
matter.
better than one.
You
I
bet.
think it's true, John, that politicians pay attention not so much to what people are saying, but how many are saying it. And so we're sending this letter, and Doug has indicated he will put it forward to Coastal.
Yeah.
And once this is written up, we can forward it, I believe, to the other neighborhood councils that you mentioned.
Yeah.
All of which is important and germane. And so let's make it a letter party. They can change the wording if they want.
Yeah,
but at least we're-
I think all the others meet after you guys do. but
Okay,
I
well
can
then
check.
this is one, since it's in our area, we're
Yeah.
taking the lead on it. And I think it's great in terms of John reporting to his neighbor Chewy that we've taken this action, and we'll put it before our board on the, forgive me, 13th or 14th of December at our monthly board meeting. And they'll have a letter in hand from us and others to follow from other neighborhood councils. That way it gets us, then we're first and earliest with this letter for them to use. So with that, any other comments? And if not, let's go back to the, so if I close Q&A, it doesn't go away. No, Dan, it doesn't.
Dan, just for clarification,
Yes,
we're talking about the 13th or 14th. What meeting are you referring to?
the monthly board meeting in
Okay, that
December.
is on the 10th.
Oh, the 10th, sorry, forgive me. I'm sorry,
Hang on, then
I must have looked at the wrong,
no, you were correct, 13th, sorry.
thank you. Thank you. Hey, I got one right today, yay. Okay, with that in mind, we'll start again with the Johns. John DiMaglio. Oh, unmute, John.
I can't vote on it unless all the neighborhood councils are involved in it.
Okay, so that's a no.
Yes.
Is that no?
No, yeah,
A no.
no.
Oh, very well. John Barbera,
Yeah, let's go for it.
Chuck Hart,
Yes,
David Rivera,
Yes, yeah.
Vic Christensen.
Yes,
I have frankly lost track of whether I vote or not, so, but it appears to be 1 no and 4 yeses. And if I've left somebody out that should vote, forgive me. With that in mind, we'll prepare this letter to forward to our.
Well, like
to Vic
Doug said,
Christensen.
like Doug said, he'll go and do he's got the write-up, he'll do it over there. We can send it to all those people that he's listed. We'll send it to them. And we got time. Let's see, we send it, Vic can do it now after, send it, let them know a little brief thing, what's happening. Send them the thing and let them know that, this is what what we've come up with, and get their opinion on it. Lori's got her hand up.
Very good. Lori Jacobs.
Yeah, I was just wondering, Dan, you mentioned that even though Baragon has kindly stepped in to help with this, that it isn't Ted Lieu's territory. If maybe you wanted to copy Ted Lieu's office and copy Baragon's office.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We'll make up an extensive copy list, and that will be attached to the letter at our board meeting on the, what was it, Victor, the 13th?
Yes.
And Dan, you said something earlier about that we might not be in Ted Lieu's area already. Has the redistricting show that we're not going to be in that area?
No, let me clarify. The redistricting commission is doing its work. And the preliminary map that I've seen, which frankly makes, I think, some sense for San Pedro, restores all of San Pedro to a single district.
Okay. I couldn't
Which it
I
used
tried
to-
to I tried to read those maps online and honestly couldn't see
No,
enough detail. So that's why when you mentioned it, I was real
Yeah.
curious. Well, that would be
it's,
great.
Thank
you.
Yeah, Lou's district, I don't know, they kick in some other rich neighborhood in the North Valley or something, and kick us out. And we go into Congressmember Barragon's district.
Either one are great
That's,
Congress
now
people.
that's
so.
not, now that's not official. But
Right, no, I
that's where the
understand, but-
thinking is right now.
Right. Okay. I was just wondering where you saw that because I tried to look it up and I couldn't see enough detail.
was-
So
it-
more to be revealed.
It was on the website of the commission that's doing the redistricting commission. And it was hard to blow it up on the screen, but I did manage to make sense of it. And yes, we would, all of Northwest San Pedro would be in a,
Oh, okay.
a
So Dan,
new,
you're saying that came from that
district.
ad hoc commission, but to my understanding, Council Member Nuri is trying
No.
to override that.
no. You're speaking of the city of Los Angeles
Right.
council districts.
Right.
No,
Oh,
this
okay.
is the
Okay.
congressional
Never mind.
redistricting.
You're right. You're right. Look, I
Yes.
pulled it down.
I'll give you a never mind on that. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Let's just, I think effectively,
We just need to get this
letters
out
will
really, really quick to everybody, like John said, they all have to get involved, but as long as we can, it doesn't hurt, get them all out now. We got all the names.
Yeah.
Doug's on board, he'll talk to his group and
Well,
everything,
and-
so.
and we
Just-
can send it out on the 14th or 15th of December, as it were.
Just
So-
to let everybody know, I just sent the motion in an email to my vice president to let him know it needs to go on our agenda in December.
Thank you, Doug.
Great,
And
good.
when, Doug, point of interest, when is your meeting in December?
A week after yours, we're on the 20th.
Okay, good.
And I checked everybody else. Yours is the first meeting. Wilmington's at the end of the month, Harbor City. Coastal, Central, Harbor City meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So
Okay,
Harbor
really
City's
good.
going dark in December, to my knowledge.
I guess they would, because that would make them the day before Christmas Eve or something. So.
yeah, well, we'll be in the lead, and as we should
Yeah.
be, since it's in our area. So thank you all. This is great. That is actually the end of the agenda items for this evening. I think the motion is a good one, and the document will be helpful. And as John Meglio has said, I think we all agree that the more the merrier. The more groups that push for this, the better. And glad that we will be the first to do so. Our next meeting will be December 28th, which to my knowledge is neither Christmas Eve night or New Year's night before New Year's Eve. So it's right in the middle of that holiday week. And if anyone else has any comments, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we will say to you all,
Whoa.
You got Chuck.
yes, Chuck. Yes, Chuck.
The items on the agenda seem to be pretty well covered. And unless we're required by statute or law to have a meeting on December 28th, unless some items of importance come up, why do we need a meeting? Unless some items of importance come up.
Well, for that reason, if some items of import come up, let's if there's no objection, let's leave it the way it is for now.
We can always cancel it closer to the date if we don't think it's worth having it too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would suggest doing that if we can.
we'll keep an eye on, and we'll try to have some good items. Thank you. And with that, I'll say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope your turkey is not stuck on a ship out in the harbor somewhere. And have a good time, everybody. Enjoy the
Happy
holiday
Thanksgiving, everybody.
weekend. Take care. Thank you
Thanksgiving.
all. Thank
Happy
you all.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Lori. And Vic, thanks for all your help tonight. You got me up and running. I appreciate it.
You guys have a good
Thanks.
feast and everything. David, don't eat too much, you know.
Why are
Why
you picking
not?
on David? Why are you just picking on him?
I mean, Vic and John could use a little weight, you know. You know, there's a couple of us here, you know, Dan and I and David, we don't need to eat. John, you
hey.
need to eat a little more, as my mother would say. You're too skinny. You gotta eat.
David
Just to-
has
just to-
earned every
just to
calorie
let-
he can consume.
Just to let everybody know,
Yes.
South Shore Market has plenty of fresh turkeys.
Woo.